I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Friday, May the 3rd, 2013. Hamas leader in Gaza, Ismail Haniyeh, rejected the recently revised position of the Arab League on peace negotiations today, saying that outsiders couldn't decide the fate of Palestinians. Haniyeh was referring to the recent statements of an Arab League delegation who met with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry in Washington earlier this week. The League, which up until now has stood firm on a Palestinian state being based on pre-1967 borders, after meeting with Kerry, cited the possibility of minor land swaps between the Israelis and the Palestinians as an alternative. Leaders in the Palestinian Authority, which controls the West Bank, seemed somewhat split in their opinions about the Arab League statement. Some have said it reflects their own views, while others have expressed reservations about any land swaps. Haniyeh, who leads Hamas, which controls Gaza, told hundreds of worshippers at a local mosque today that the initiative was a danger to the Palestinian people. He said the so-called New Arab Initiative is rejected by our people, by our nation, and no one can accept it. Israel's Justice Minister Tzipi Livni had said at the time that the Arab League statement was very good news. As you may have seen on IBA News, Livni met with Kerry yesterday to talk about developments in peace talk efforts, and Ma'ariv reported today that Livni reiterated to the Secretary of State that Israel would not agree to the 1967 borders as a precondition of restarting peace negotiations. The Anti-Defamation League yesterday called on Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to unequivocally condemn the murder of Eviatar Borovsky, the 31-year-old Israeli who was stabbed by a Palestinian assailant earlier this week at the Tapuach Junction in the West Bank. ADL National Director Abe Foxman referred to comments made yesterday by the assailant's family, who said their son was fulfilling his duty as a Palestinian, and to a post on the Facebook page of Fatah, the political party of the Palestinian Authority, which referred to Borovsky's killer as a hero. The ADL also expressed concern about anti-Arab violence that followed the killing, which included a group of extremist Israeli Jews throwing rocks at Palestinian cars and school buses and setting local fields on fire. Foxman said, while we fully understand the sadness and anger felt by Israelis at Borovsky's murder, Israeli settlers should not resort to vigilantism. The World Jewish Congress will hold its 14th plenary assembly this Sunday through Tuesday in Budapest, Hungary. The plenary will address several issues facing the Jewish people globally, including the alarming rise of neo-Nazi political parties and anti-Semitic incidents in several European countries, including Hungary, as well as the situation in the Middle East. Over 600 delegates and observers from around the world will convene in the Hungarian capital, and Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban will speak at the opening dinner. Other keynote speakers include Germany's Foreign Minister Guido Westerwelle and Israel's Energy and Water Minister Silvan Shalom. WJC President Ronald Lauder called the assembly an opportunity to show that by standing united, world Jewry can make its voice heard and can improve things. Anti-Semitism and racism in Hungary specifically has grown dramatically, in particular with the rise of the far-right opposition party Jobbik. And now a Hungarian court has given the Jobbik party the right to hold a rally this Saturday in Budapest, just ahead of the WJC assembly. As we reported to you earlier this week, Hungarian Prime Minister Orban had banned the rally. However, Reuters reported today that a court in Hungary has now ruled that that ban was belated and unlawful, and said that the protest rally could go ahead. Orban responded by saying the court ruling was unacceptable, and he has now asked the president of the Supreme Court to intervene. A new area at Yad Vashem, the Jewish people's living memorial to the Holocaust, was unveiled this week in Jerusalem. The new Yad Vashem Square, which sits at the entrance to the Mount of Remembrance adjacent to the museum, will now be used as the museum's main entrance. Yad Vashem Chairman Avner Shalev said the square was designed in a modest and minimalist fashion, explaining that the square serves as a gradual transition between the daily reality of the Jerusalem city streets to Yad Vashem, a visit which for many is a very meaningful and emotional experience. And finally today, the Union for Reform Judaism is offering grants to congregations so that they can offer a free class that explores Jewish spirituality, ethics, and community values. The 3-session class is called Taste of Judaism and is for beginners, Jewish or not, who are looking to explore or re-explore the foundations of the Jewish tradition. Applications for the grants and for more information can all be found on their website, urj.org. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Friday, May the 3rd, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.